Ladies and gentlemen, the countdown has begun. Quantic.SaSe going to be taking on TSL.HyuN. Let's see if HyuN can hold on game number 2 and force this series to an ace match, or if SaSe is going to be taking this 2-0. Let's get into the game. Spawning in the bottom right spawn location on EIZO, ladies and gentlemen, as the Red Protoss winner in game number 1, able to take out the person who took out Naniwa 2-0 yesterday on the Saturday. It's going to be from Quantic Gaming. It's SaSe. And over here in the top left spawning location as the Blue Zerg from Team SCV Life in Korea, taking out Naniwa yesterday, taking out Puma today. Of course, in the group stages, Puma may well still be in the round of 16, but my goodness, is this guy on an absolute tear. Will he be able to bring this series to an ace match? Let's find out momentarily. It's going to be TSL.HyuN. And wow, what an incredible series of games here today, ladies and gentlemen. TSL.HyuN going up against Quantic.SaSe. Excellent timing attack with those double Robo Colossi from SaSe in game number 1. He noticed that HyuN, hang on a second, hasn't got a Spire. There were no Corruptors out to combat those Colossi, and as a result, those Colossi just did so much damage. Nice Burrow Micro there from HyuN, but not quite enough to take the game in the end. We actually see no drones being produced, so a 12 pool coming out from TSL.HyuN here. Let's wait and see if that bears any fruit. A little bit of an earlier pool. It looks like he's going to be going for some early game aggression to try and close out this game against SaSe, but SaSe, an incredibly good player, and after coming off the back of that win in game number 1, his scouting is going to be pretty diligent. Let's see if he is able to hold it off. Pool now 50% done. We do have a gas being taken now from SaSe, and the Forge actually going down in the back of his base as well. So very, very interesting choice to put the Forge in the back. That I'm not really sure what that means actually. He could be going for fast upgrades, but normally you would see the Forge fast expand down at the front, and it looks like he is trying to block the hatchery, but it is going to be going down at the third base location as Lings come out, and I suspect HyuN is just going to try and exert early map control and dominance with this spawning pool. He does indeed have 2 Lings coming out. He's going to try and chase away this probe, kill this pylon here, and then also hold these watchtowers in the middle of the map. I'm very interested to see what SaSe is going to be doing though. So we have the Forge in the mineral line, probably just in case it was a 6 pool or something like that, so he doesn't want to have to defend against any sort of cheese like that. That would be a good idea in game number 2 if you happen to be 1 game up, and it looks like indeed he is walling off with 2 gateways and a pylon, so not even allowing the cybernetics core to be within touching distance of Lings breaking the wall. He is very, very aware that HyuN is very capable of producing some excellent aggressive play, and he just wants to make sure that that is entirely shut down, as the Lings now going to be chasing the probe out of the base and halfway across the map. So really well played there from SaSe, anticipating potential cheese from his opponent, building the Forge in his main base instead. Pretty good move, pretty good move. Third hatch now down for TSL.HyuN, and we do have the +1 coming out, as well as 2 additional gateways from SaSe, of course, at the front. They will now just about complete, but I don't believe we see a cybernetics core yet, so this is going to be very interesting. We could be seeing some early game Zealot pressure come out of SaSe here with a late cybernetics core. +1 Zealot timing could be a lot of fun indeed. The cybernetics core now going down. Of course, it's also possible that we might see a 5-gate Zealot or something like that, but then there would be no reason to take both of these gases to my knowledge. So we'll wait and see what he decides to do. I suspect it'll be a little bit of pressure, but of course he can also go to a very, very heavy attack out of this as well. Let's wait and check out what he decides to build next. In the meantime, HyuN finishing up his 3rd hatchery at his natural now, so he's going to have all 3 bases up, still continuing to drone up. The worker count is currently 29 in favor of HyuN to 23 for SaSe. And the game is definitely going to stabilize, but SaSe showing us some very interesting stuff here on ESV-Ohana. More and more Zealots getting chrono boosted out here, and we do finally have the Warp Gate research incoming. +1 is going to complete in just a second, so it looks like we're going to be seeing some nice Zealot pressure against the 3rd base here from TSL.HyuN. With those +1 Zealots, of course, able to 2-shot Zerglings instead of 3-shot, they're going to be super, super effective against early game Lings, and TSL.HyuN is going to need a boatload of them to try and stop these Zealots. 3 of them now incoming to the 3rd base. Is that about a fourth Zealot. It is indeed one of them leading the charge and 3 more behind him. 4+1 Zealots are now going to try and attack this hatchery. Will he be able to take the base, though? Let's find out. He's going to start engaging these Lings. Excellent first hits on them, and HyuN is going to find it so difficult to defend here. Now on the edge of creep, Zealot's going to be moving in, going to try and get some pot shots off on those Hellions, on those Zerglings, my goodness. And it looks like the engagement is about to occur. Look at how quickly these Zerglings are melting. The Zealots have no shields on them anymore, but all 4 of them are still alive, and the Queen is now in a little bit of trouble. It looks like SaSe is going to be moving back to try and regenerate some shields. A 5th Zealot going to be joining the fray here, but my goodness, did those Zerglings melt ever so quickly. 6th Zealot now in as well. Warp Gate is about 2/3 of the way down. We have no forward pylon there, so it looks like this Zealot pressure is going to be very effective against the Lings, forcing more and more Zerglings out of TSL.HyuN. But crucially, not getting the 3rd base in any way, shape, or form. SaSe now going to try for attempt number 2. We do have full shields on all of those Zealots once again. Will he be able to get us around on the Queen? He's trying for it, and the Zerglings now going to engage. Nice concave there, and good surround by the Zerglings, but so many of them going down. It looks like HyuN is going to make enough Zerglings to hold this off. Let's take a look, though, at how many he actually made. He still has 21 Zerglings left on the map, and a Phoenix is now out on the field for Quantic.SaSe. So behind this, he is going to be grabbing that double Stargate action, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very nice harass there with that Zealot pressure for so many Lings out of TSL.HyuN, and the worker count is currently 49 to 40 in favor of TSL.HyuN, still continuing to drone up hard behind this, doing it very, very well indeed. He knows he produced a lot of Zerglings. He now needs a couple rounds of drones, but will this Stargate play catch HyuN by surprise? We're going to have to wait and see. This Overlord, of course, hasn't seen the Stargate yet. HyuN has no idea that this huge Stargate pressure is going to be coming out until these Phoenixes pop out. And now the Zerglings spot the Phoenixes. Will it be enough time to get Spore Crawlers out in the main? No, because the Evolution Chamber is just starting. These Phoenixes could potentially be absolutely huge for Quantic.SaSe. Now moving out towards the main base, and oh my goodness, HyuN is going to have such a difficult time trying to keep his queens alive here. SaSe doing a little bit of a dancing micro there on the Phoenixes, and here we go. Going to try and take down these queens. Oh, these Phoenixes are getting low on shields. One of the queens does go down. He's going to be microing that queen backwards, and there we go. Oh, one of the Phoenixes actually is about to die, but it doesn't matter. So many queens are being taken out, and actually saving that one Phoenix as well. Very, very nice micro there from SaSe, and these Phoenixes are going to be able to do so much damage indeed. We have Spore Crawlers now going down in all the bases, but wow, a lot of damage was done there. 3 queens have indeed been taken out. 2 Spore Crawlers at every base, and HyuN is getting supply blocked like crazy at the moment. More and more drones being taken out, and finally the Spore Crawlers finish, but it looks like SaSe is continuing with the aggression anyway. One of the Phoenixes does indeed go down, but so many drones getting taken out, that was probably worth it there, and he's just going to take out another Overlord with pot shots over here at the natural. Wow, more and more Phoenixes. SaSe is really going super heavy on this Stargate play. 4 more gateways and a Templar Archives with Zealot Charge now coming down for SaSe. He's going to be following this up with Zealot Archon by the looks of things. So Charge is going to be produced here. We have Templar Archives and a lot more gateways coming down, and the Phoenixes have done so much damage. 58 to 52 now. Basically, HyuN is using all of his time and his larvae and his minerals into constantly rebuilding drones. He first used a lot of those larvae to build Zerglings to thwart off the initial attack, and he's now continuously replenishing what these Phoenixes have been able to attack. So doing very, very well there to replenish the drones, but not being able to use the larvae for anything else. SaSe keeping HyuN under wraps here in this game number 3 on ESV Ohana, as it looks like some small pebbles and a Zergling are going to get lifted up here and finally gets taken out. That Zergling was suspended in midair, wondering what the hell was going on for most of that engagement. But it looks like it was indeed a painless and quick death at the end of it. So we have all the Overlords actually in the back of the bay. This is very, very Phoenixable if he's not careful. HyuN once again supply blocked, doing such a good job as SaSe with these Phoenixes across the map. He is now going to be up to 90 supply, 70 to 54 workers though. HyuN doing such a good job picking off drones wherever he can. Let's see if he finds the Overlords in the back. Oh, he's actually going for it. Just going to try and keep lifting up these drones here. He does not care that the Spore Crawlers are in place. This is impressive stuff coming out from SaSe, making use of all the energy on his Phoenixes and then some to try and destroy as many drones as possible. Keep TSL.HyuN producing drones rather than other units to attack with. And it looks like, oh, never mind, we're not going to be seeing Zealot Archon because Psionic Storm, ladies and gentlemen, is also on the way. Protoss Ground Weapons level 2. We do actually have Zealots in now, but instead of getting +1 shields, which you typically see on charge slots because they need to be able to absorb damage, we actually have +2 attack. coming out for these Zealots and actually just finishing up as well. These Phoenixes, still the majority of them alive, going to be picking off a couple of these Lings at the watchtower here, just doing a little bit of damage to TSL.HyuN wherever he can, and SaSe looks to be in a pretty good position here. We now have the first High Templar warping in. Psionic Storm is nearly finished researching, so he's going to be able to Zealot Storm his way through this army, and those Phoenixes being kept alive is going to be a useful addition to his army composition as well, and additional Immortals now being chrono boosted. This could potentially be a very nice army composition, and that has set TSL.HyuN back so far. He has a Hydralisk Den now out to try and stop this constant air harass, and he also has the Spire going down in the third base. This army composition from SaSe can potentially be very, very good. In fact, if he goes for mutas, we might even see the range upgrade on the Phoenixes come out in this game. We're going to have to wait and see what SaSe decides he wants to do. But if we see a fleet beacon at some point soon, I guess that could be a possibility. Always interesting to see new upgrades, of course, being used in the game. And here we go. We have the Zealot charge trying to get rid of some of those Hydras. Oh, excellent lift up by the Phoenixes on the Hydras. He is sacrificing the Phoenixes so that the Zealots can come in and rip those Hydralisks apart. Beautiful force fields as well, preventing the Roaches from leaving. And SaSe with an excellent engagement. They're losing most of the Phoenixes, but he knows he's not going to be continuing with this Stargate play too much longer, and the ground army from SaSe looking very, very strong indeed. A lot of High Templar with Storms going to be following it up. Additional Immortals going to be joining up with this army as well. There's a lot of Roaches though here for HyuN. Will he be able to hold this off? Two Spine Crawlers now adding the fray. We need those Storms, and the High Templar are coming in now. Excellent Storms on those Roaches, but are they going to be enough? Roaches, of course, very, very resilient unit. More and more Storms going down, and now the Roaches are finally getting to low health. But the Zealots are crucially almost all dead, and I don't think there are many more tanks here with SaSe's army. He needs to be a little bit careful. TSL.HyuN now up 123 supply to 92, and I think SaSe is going to have to go home with this. I think he's realized, unfortunately, a little bit too late, and the Archon is going to go. This entire army, actually, is going to go down, and HyuN with a pretty decent victory here in this engagement. Will he be able to take the momentum and try and win the game? He's got 4 more Zealots popping in to try and stem the flow. Is SaSe, but so many more Zerglings popping up now as well, and I think HyuN is going to be able to take this engagement easily from now on. All the high gas units have now been destroyed, even the Phoenix almost dead there, and it looks like it's going to survive with 6 hit points. The only unit to survive, never mind, not even going to survive with the Phoenix. So SaSe, unfortunately, falling a little bit apart during that engagement. With that army composition, not able to make it stick. Excellent initial engagement, killing off all those Hydralisks with the Zealots, but unfortunately the follow-up was just a little bit too much aggression, and HyuN able to comfortably hold it up. He is now up in supply 142 to 99, as it looks like he is going to be preparing for an all-out assault on either the third or the natural. He is gearing towards the third. Here we go. Zealot now getting surrounded. He sees all the Roaches incoming. Does SaSe? What is he going to be able to do about it? His army is at least there. Going to try for more Storms, but let's... Oh no, he's actually going to fake and go back up into the natural. No, he's not. He's just drawing the army out of the third base. This game of cat and mouse getting played here between HyuN and SaSe. HyuN 40 supply up though. He can take his time with this and decide what he wants to do, and the Mutalisks are now going to come into harass, trying to split SaSe's army apart. So here we go into the main base. Going to be able to... Oh no, picking so many probes up here. There is no unit here that can attack anything. In fact, there's just no unit here at all from SaSe, and every probe in the main base is going to go down, and he's now going to be heading into the natural as well. It looks like the units are going to be heading out, but HyuN going to try and do a bit of a run by into the third base with these Roaches, these Mutas in the meantime, doing so much damage to these probes. SaSe, unfortunately, falling apart at the seams with his multitasking, because these Mutas able just to kill so unbelievably much. 33 workers killed now for TSL.HyuN compared to the 15 of SaSe, and oh no, excellent Storm going down on those Mutas though. I'm not sure these Mutas should have joined the rest of the army. I think he should have just harassed and gotten out, if you wanted my honest opinion, and it looks like he is going to attempt the base race here. SaSe is now going to be going for an all-out counterattack against TSL.HyuN, but all the probes in his base are basically being left for these Mutas to pick apart as it currently stands. The cannons even getting taken out now by the Mutas, and it looks like there are a couple of High Templar, but they might not be... Oh, actually, they might be enough if he's not careful. A nice warp in from SaSe could actually save this, but a lot of probes now going down as SaSe finally makes it onto creep. Let's see if he can force this base race. A lot of Zealots going down now. We do see the Archon in the mix as well. 2 Immortals in the back, able to pummel enormous amounts of damage, and it looks like HyuN actually sending his Zerglings across the map, going to try and help out this base race. There are only a couple of Mutalisks left, so he's going to need Zerglings incoming if he wants this base race to actually continue. This is going to be absolutely insane finish to the game. 122 supply for HyuN, 97 supply for SaSe. We are in an all-out base race on the ZBP on ESV Ohana. I do not know who's going to win this. SaSe with a bit of a desperation move there, going for the base race, but it looks like it might be the correct decision. I mean, he is really pushing TSL.HyuN about as far as he could go at the moment, and he is now actually in the main base, camping out the production structures. Mutalisks trying their best to stop this army, but there are too many Stalkers and that Archon doing so much damage as well. It looks like the space race is definitely going to go ahead, and we are now in the main base with the tech. From TSL.HyuN. He realized there were no probes left on the map. Let's check out 0 worker supply for SaSe compared to 53 from HyuN. So SaSe really needs to finish the game with this army, otherwise there is no chance for him to get back into this game. He has 0 probes left on the map, ladies and gentlemen, and it could be very difficult indeed. More Zealots now in the main base doing so much damage to these drones, and I think HyuN's realizing he needs to get the hell out of dodge with those drones because SaSe has no workers anywhere, and indeed he pulls the army back, and I think HyuN might be able to take game number 2 as long as he preserves these drones, but he has to deal with this SaSe death ball first, and SaSe's army is definitely larger, 54 to 35 at the moment. If this army dies, HyuN wins. If this army doesn't die, SaSe wins. That is how close this game is at the moment, guys, and he's going to be heading towards the 4th base, but the main base is still just about mining. The lair actually hasn't been taken down yet, and he still has a drone on an extractor, and the 4th base, the last properly mining base, is now going to get taken down. I don't know who's going to win this game. All of a sudden it looks like SaSe is taking a dominant advantage here because HyuN, with his remaining army, is simply unable to match this death ball from SaSe here with the 3 immortals in the mix. This is incredible stuff coming out from SaSe. Will he be able to win this 2-0? This is going to be our last group match of the day. I don't know which of these players is going to go through at the moment. This is going to be so unbelievably close. If HyuN wins this game, he will tie the series up to 1-all and force a game number 3. But SaSe holding on very well indeed. And here we go. The engagement is happening. The Zerglings are now trying their best to whistle down the army from the back, but the Mutas all getting taken down. It looks like the Lings are going to be taken down as well. HyuN is down to 5 supply against SaSe's 36. SaSe might not have a probe out on the map, but his base is still intact. He's going to be able to destroy these buildings fast, and he can actually build a probe if he wanted to. 168 minerals here. 36 to 5. SaSe taking a 2-0 win over TSL.HyuN. What an amazing game, ladies and gentlemen. SaSe with a fantastic play during that series. That what looked like a desperation move, going for that base trade, turned out to be the correct decision. He had no probes left on the map, but still able to take out TSL.HyuN with that death ball. Excellent play there from him, and I believe that's going to be our last group game of the day. Let me just quickly double check for you guys, but while I do that, I'll be right back after this commercial break. Don't go anywhere.